Hi everyone, I am Tara and I would like to I would like to welcome you all back to my channel, uh, aka Spirit Mother. It's on YouTube. My channel is Spirit to Spirit, Teachings of Going Within Self. And on my TikTok channel, it is 1974 Enlightened Souls. If you're not familiar with what my channel is about, read the description on my YouTube channel, or you can go into my TikTok. I have a little video describing and saying what my channel is about. I talk about a lot of stuff that a lot of people find very difficult to talk about, and then I know that some people think that I'm a bitch or an a-hole for it, and that's okay. It is what it is, and I'm working for Spirit, for God, what have you, however you may refer it, and it's doing the work of bringing things to light and pointing things out and showing people the truth. And it's hard seeing the truth sometimes. So it's a lot of people don't like me for it, and a lot of people that believe in the systems are probably really hating on me right now, and that's okay, because they don't really understand the systems the way others do. Okay, because it's more still plugged into the program and believing what others would say. Now, I was reading to get started. Today, I'm talking about income tax and budget time and the stress and strain it puts on the people. And a lot of people know that in income tax time, it puts a lot of strain on you. It's a profitable business because it's not easy to fill out your income tax unless it's pretty straightforward. If you have a more complicating income tax, you're always going to take it so much. Because I was here yesterday, and someone close to me, they were trying to do their income tax, and they got so frustrated, like they're screaming and getting angry, and I can't blame them, because it's not simple, and it should be simple. You look in the book. Excuse me, what's that? You look at the income tax book, okay, and it has you got to do this on that line and a bunch of different numbers and what have you. If you look, and if you've done it online or what have you, a lot of people get discouraged from doing it. So they end up having to go out and pay someone for it. Like I know last year when I was doing, I took it to someone this year, and it was like $85 just to put in two numbers. Like, what? Because I just heard somebody say, like, why didn't you use the booklet? Because I wouldn't have a clue how to use it. I was looking, and like, even when I was doing my income tax last year online, I kept crying because they kept saying, it's wrong, it's wrong. And before, I used to just fill my name out and send my papers in, my T4s or what have you, in that way, because like they go in, they're checking them anyways. And if you have them wrong, well, isn't there a penalty? So a lot of people get really stressed this time of year, every year. And then a lot of people, like, they're looking, and like I know some people, they're like every year they're paying in $3,000 a year for income tax on top of what's been like taken off them. And then there's some, like someone I know, like they wouldn't, I have an idea of what their income was or is or what have you. And they're like reluctant, even though But anyways, every year they're paying roughly $10,000-$12,000 in on taxes. Like, what? Like, how? Like, you must be making a pretty freaking, like a pretty good penny if you're paying that much in every year on income tax, considering I only get about $1,000 more than that a year as income. So it's like, so it's like, holy crap, man. And I can see where people get full of stress and anxiety. Okay. Because, like, okay, we live in a democracy. I was always like when you read about it, because I always thought like the people had to say. But in actuality, like when you go and you vote for somebody, you're giving up your say, you're putting your confidence in that they will speak for you, but they're not speaking for you. Because I know of one who was a truck driver and he got in government, and every time that he started speaking up for the people, he got kicked out because they don't like his speaking up for people, because it's not about doing what's right for people. It's like, okay, you think of well, the one in I'm not Bible thumping or anything like that, but people like to use the Bible as an example. Well, I think it was Peter, or one of them was a tax collector and left tax collecting because it was like an eye opener, like we're screwing over the people. And some of you may not like think that that's happening, but I was reading an article. Oh yeah. No, my computer just said security error. You know, spirit to spirit. So, um, it was, what was I saying? They put in security error because I was going to read an article where it was saying about, like, with regards to what I was talking about. Because they we live in a democracy, but you don't really have any say. And I was looking at the budget for this year, and I was looking through it, and I'll believe it when I see it, because I just see them to be giving lip service. You don't see it. You don't see what they're doing. They say what they're doing with it, but then we never see it because it's like, what? It's just all the same. Okay. So I was looking at the action plan. That's weird. Oh, here we go. Okay, for more housing faster. Okay, I'm gonna read that because there's like in Canada, especially like where I'm from, there's a housing crisis, and everyone knows that, right? It's because the inflation, everything they have just jacked the prices right up. So more and more people are becoming homeless, or more and more people are having to move in with family members, okay, because they can't afford to live anymore. Now, more housing. Our growing province needs more housing now, and taking important steps to increase housing supply. Okay, 80 to 100 million estimated annual to rebate the 10% provision HST on the new construction of purpose building multi-unit buildings. Okay, 27.1 million for NSCC housing projects in various stages of development, capital plan. 14.8 million this year for Nova Scotia projects to leverage funding from the National Housing Strategy 22 to 25 action plan. 5 million to expand the 28.6 million affordable housing development program to include student housing project proposals. 3.6 million for rapid housing Intuitive to develop new affordable housing units in Halifax. Okay. Oh. And then that was 3.6 million. 35.3 million to build new public housing units for more repairs and maintenance to existing public housing. 11.8 million for a new investment in modular public housing. Okay, I looked it up on what it will cost roughly to build a 50-unit complex in Canada or what have you. For varies from province to province I'm in. From what I understand, it's 3 point. Where'd it go? Just like you can be in my channel or not. That's up to you. Okay, where'd it go? You didn't let me send it. No. Oh, here we go. It's a home guide. Okay. You can see. Okay. Oh, right here. National average cost 16.9 billion. That's for one building. Minimum cost 300,000. But those are the smaller buildings. Now for 50 units, right here. Okay, how much does it cost to build an apartment complex? $150 to $400 cost per square foot. 75,000 to 600,000 cost per unit. $500 to $1,500 square foot. 3,750,000 to 30 million total average cost for a 50-unit apartment building. So the money they're giving is actually maybe enough to build 2 complexes. And then, like, I know other people that's been looking for low income housing or the affordable housing thing where they fill out, and then they're 5-6 years waiting to get an affordable home. So when it comes tax time, and you're paying in all this money, and you're left and they're saying over something being put through, and then there's so many people are saying about the government, and it's like we're going to throw little bits of increments of money at you. Now, I said that for the carbon tax alone, for 1 month, I said it the other day on another video, for the carbon tax alone, for 1 month, in Canada, we have 41 million people, estimated at 41 million people. They disbursed carbon tax money to 12 million people. That was for the month of January of 2024. And that was $2.8 billion. And when I look at stuff like that, and I know somebody's in here trying to shut me down because I can feel you. Don't care if you like what I'm saying. You're throwing pennies at the people. Oh, we're doing good. No, actually, you're not doing good, because what pennies you throw at the people and you say you're doing for the people, you're actually clawing it back in other ways. So you're not doing anything for the people except for giving them lip service so you can get your fucking votes. Whenever you depend on somebody else to make the decision, that's the same. I'm going to say it because it's all a system. I went to church, same church, 2 weeks in a row. And every time at the beginning, it was, oh, and don't forget, God wants you to give 10% of your income. Well, they're already taking 80% for taxes. And then you're saying, give me another 10%. So the people's only supposed to have, well, that's like 90% that a person is basically putting out a year. I figured out that, like, for what I get $972 a month to live off of. And they want me to give 10, that the church wants you to give 10% of that. So that's like $100 there, 100 and some dollars there. That's a month. That leaves you with not even enough to pay your rent. Yes, your government is robbing you because they're pocketing it. They're all part of the system. They're all part of the fuel. So they're taking this $2 billion. They're like for a lot for Canadians. They're giving out $2.3 billion for the month of January alone to 12 million people. Okay, and they're saying about it's for false accused. Can you imagine how much good that 2.3 billion, not million, $1 billion could do for the environment? And you multiply that by 4, so roughly $9.8 billion a year. That's only on 12 million people, and we have 41 million people. So, like, where's the rest of it going? If only 12 million people are getting money for carbon tax, and everybody's paying carbon tax. You go to the food stores, you're paying carbon tax because they're putting it in there, they're hiding it on you, and you're still getting charged it. It's not just it's the fuel. Okay, so it's the fuel for the transportation to get you from there. So they're hiding it all from you, and that's all taxes. And then some people are going and they're getting loans to pay their taxes, or they're taking their credit cards to pay their taxes. And I figured up, okay, people will use their credit card. Okay, most oil companies right now, you cannot get oil delivered unless you pay $500. Unless you get $500 worth of oil where at least where I'm at, you have to have $500 to get a truck to come with oil for you. And a lot of people, because they can't come up with that cash, they'll actually use their credit cards. Well, I looked, and on average, the average interest rate on a credit card is between 19 and 25%. So I figured up for fuel for $500 at 22% interest, because that's kind of right in the middle. For oil, you're adding another $110 onto your fuel cost. And you already don't have enough money to pay for your fuel. And then for gas, fuel, say you use $70. You bought $70 worth of gas, you went in and you paid on your credit card. You're paying at 22%, you're paying another $15.40. So you're for $70 worth of gas, you're not even getting $70 worth of gas, you're only getting like 35 liters of gas. And then you're paying $70, but then you're paying another $15.40. So that $70 gas that only got 35 liters of gas. A little expensive, isn't it? But you're already screaming about the prices. Where's the logic? Where's the common sense there? I'm not being rude. I'm just pointing it out. I don't use a credit card. I had a credit card once. And I had $350. Now money. I had $350, and when that $350 was gone, I was like, get rid of the credit card because you're paying in because I was paying on interest. I was paying interest on my own money. So it's like, holy shit. And people think that, oh, it's a great thing. Oh, go get your credit rating up. Seriously. You can't afford to make ends meet as it is. Why are we going and getting these credit cards to friggin' you're talking about the banking system, but you're playing right into it. You're talking about the government system or what have you, but you're playing right into it because you're giving these people all the say instead of having to say yourself. No, but in the church they like to say to be like Yeshua, but they say Jesus, but it's actually Yeshua. To be like Yeshua. So Yeshua was standing up for the people. Yeshua was telling you what your fucking systems are about. So, like, don't preach to me about that stuff if you're not going to get the real fucking story and put the real story out. Some people, they look at me when I speak up about this, and they're the same fucking people that'll mouth off and mick off about their government and this and that, but they wouldn't say shit about it if they had a mouthful. They wouldn't stand up if they had a mouthful. They just look at you and say, oh, well, it's just like that. Well, it's only like that because you leave it like that. Seriously. I feel like I'm on fire right now. And this time of year freaking stresses people out. And then they're stressed even more because they can't pay their taxes. If you don't pay them, you get fucking penalized. You get your wages garnished. You get shit taken from you. People are living in fear of losing their fucking houses all the time, so they don't say shit if they had a mouthful. But they'll sit back and they'll bitch and moan and drip and complain to other people because you ain't got no food on your table because you got no fucking heat. You got no gas to get to work. So, yeah, am I infuriated? You're freaking right, I'm infuriated because I'm sick and tired of hearing people bitch and complain about something and then say, oh, well, that's the way it is. Like this person that was stressed out every fucking year is the same damn thing. And then a couple minutes later, oh, because, oh, well, oh, well, you just fucking bitched about what you were forking out. And if I look spastic, good. If I'm coming off as a bitch, good. If I'm looking like an asshole, good. Because some people have to. And then people will look at me and say, oh, well, you're this, you're over dramatic. No, I'm not over dramatic. I'm just fucking tired of the systems. Did you have any of you clued in that you're paying taxes? Meanwhile, your fucking prime minister is going on vacation with your tax dollars? Ding, 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 I already had brain damage and Spirit saved me from it. Because I was in a car accident because the people that were working for the province salting the roads ran out of salt, went back to fill up and said the superior there, the supervisor said, oh, don't bother going back out. The next ones will get it. That wasn't it. That was 4:30 in the morning, and it wasn't until wait until after I had my fucking accident and the fire department and the ambulance and all that. They were contacting the Department of Transportation, telling them get your ass out here and salt this fucking road. That's what your tax dollars does. Because the more money they save for the government, you know, I have to say, it's probably a bigger bonus they get. That's the same as community services. They'll give you fucking pennies. Meanwhile, they won't tell you what you're really entitled to. You gotta go fishing and digging. Where's our democracy? Serious. You think you live in a democracy, but yet I hear people bitching and complaining and saying that we're living in a communist country. Well, I have to almost agree with that because people say, "Oh, well, you're free." Well, yeah, how free? Like, really? You're sitting there, you're bitching and complaining because you got no fucking money to put windows in your house or doors, and they're all fucking leaking. You got no money to pay for your heat. You got no money for your fucking food. And if I'm swearing, oh well. The same person that bitches and complains about stuff. Hey, they were the one that told me, sometimes you got to speak your language, but when I speak this person's language, you don't like it because nobody likes getting back what they put out, but they sure like to try to give it, and then they play victim when it comes back on them. Like you go buy a 5-cent candy and you're paying like what 7 cents for it, so you're paying 10 cents because of taxes for the 5-cent candy. It's like wow. Like why is this money not being used for like good environmental reasons that makes everything green so that people aren't fucking sick all the time and having to go to a hospital for medical treatment. Do you know that it's gone up? What did it say? Like between 23 and 30% from last year or from 3 years ago. And they'll blame it all on COVID. And I don't care if I use that word, COVID, COVID, COVID. And I'm not knocking people who got sick from it. If the reason why you got sick from it, it's because your immune system is already low. Because you're so chemically induced by the environmental hazards that's put on your food. There's no reason for the ground to be dug up the way it is. I had somebody tell me the other day that there's technology where you got that fucking sludgy shit and they put shit on your fields and when it rains it just all flushes away. But there's actually a technology where it can actually lift up the sod and put the shit under, and it doesn't contaminate your wells. It doesn't contaminate your fucking rivers and lakes and your brooks, your water sources. And the same person bitched about a farmer putting their silage or silage not even 15 feet away from their well, which, the government officials that know all best told them to put their well right next to a fucking field where they were putting cow shit and told them to put their septic tank by the fucking brook. Like, hello? To me, that's not environmentally safe. People are going and they're paying shit piles of money for insurance for fearing that the person I know. They went and got more insurance because they're afraid that their fucking septic field or septic bed's going to go tits up. because of the way the water table's going, or because of this or that. You know, seriously, the fucking true shit is out there. The environmentally safe, the environmental stuff is out there. But your fucking government and your systems don't want it out there, because if it comes out, then this alleviates all the other bullshit that people have to deal with. So you want to be like, you want to sit in the church and you want to preach and say about being like Yeshua? Then be more like Yeshua. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for the people. That's why he got killed. As it said, that he was killed. Because he was showing people how to empower themselves and how to fend for themselves instead of looking to a fucking system. If you're looking for me to go for a reading, I don't go in for readings. I'm connected directly with spirit, but I really appreciate that. There are many other people out there that could actually use your readings to do them. It's like, when I read this stuff, I cried. And I just kept shaking my head to say, hey, you guys, why are you sitting there bitching about this and putting things on Facebook and other things, but you're not really like, it's like, you change a system by changing your beliefs, and you think that this system is working for you. It's not. There are certain things that are coming in, yes, but it's over years upon years when it should have already been there. I read a thing that part of the budget was, if I can find it, one part of it said $73 billion was going to defenses. Like, wow. Like, if you have Prime, go watch the movie Cinderella, okay? And the fucking king that's on there. His daughter keeps telling him about going over to green energy, how the wind. And he keeps telling her to shut up. Like, no. Seriously? Talk about fucking greedy. Talk about, well, you're supposed to be there doing what's right for the people, but you're not, because you're too busy sitting in your fucking, I'm sitting on my throne with my fucking crown on, and I got my big old jewels in the gold. Meanwhile, I'm going to say about people in poverty. And if you government officials are watching, good for you, maybe you'll wake up. Except for the ones that, the ones that are really pocketing the money, and the ones that are, on the fuel systems. It's like, you like to be in the light. You like to stand up there at your little podium and read off your fucking paper. Who wrote it for you? Your puppet master? Well, that's your opinion. I don't need rehab. But it's all the same. I'm not saying that they're all not good, because there are ones out there that are really for the people. But I'll tell you right now, those ones that are for the people, those are the ones that get silenced. The person I'm dealing with, they wouldn't come on here and say shit if they had a mouthful. They wouldn't stand up to the government if they had a mouthful for fear of losing their pension because they worked for the government. So people live in fear that work for a lot of them live in fear because they're afraid they're going to lose their pensions. Hey, like, hey, government, you want to take my $972 of disability from me? Well, you already did it. And you did it because I failed to make a phone call. And that was right after I got out of the hospital. It was right at COVID too. That's when I said, well, I guess, Trudeau must get the money that we're going to get. And, it must be true. They must need all that money from the people so that they can pay the debt that they're fucking incurring. But wait, that's our debt. And they're pocketing our money. You're the fucking debt. You're their collateral. You're their donkey. They'll weigh you down and weigh you down until finally the donkey says, get the fuck off my ass, and they kick you off. And then I'm just somebody that comes in ranting and raving. No, I'm not the only one. There's like I said, spirit channels through me, so it's all different forms of spirit. It's a lot of our ancestors, because our ancestors had already gone through it. Coming back and they're saying, like, what the fuck, people? You're still going through this in what you call modern times? I don't get it. They're saying that things are worse now. Like, well, you're not trying to fix the problem. Stop putting a fucking Band-Aid on it and actually find it, like, put the solution out there. People speaking up and saying and standing up and seeing the truth for what it is. That's gonna be the solution. You go and you see protests for the farmers and stuff like that, because farmers are getting screwed over, but they're not using the technology that they should be using. It would make things a hell of a lot easier for them too. The food would be a hell of a lot better. You wouldn't have the contamination in the field. But when I was living when I was living somewhere else, and the farmer that put their silage, they got reported I don't know how many times for destroying people's wells, but they're still allowed. Wow. I must say, that's a dirty fucking farmer, and it's a dirty fucking government if they're allowing farmers like that to continue. Little Dorset Farms. I did say the name. Because they also had a pig farm just up the road from where they are with their cattle farm and pig farm. They had a big pig farm. And the community had them shut down, so they moved down the road because they were contaminating people's wells. So they moved down the road, and then the 4 houses that were around them, they fucking contaminated those too. And they contaminated the brook right there. Plus, they put shit on their fields to kill the land, and then that would run off into the water sources and into the brooks. They even got reported for killing eagles. But nothing was done. And I thought eagles were endangered. It was in the Maritimes. It's like taxes are supposed to be there to help you. Like they were saying about like infrastructure. What was it? 150 million for infrastructure. Okay. Well, depending on what company you get, just to, repay the road, for 1 to 2 kilometers, you're looking at a pretty fucking penny. Because I know I read a sign one time, and it was like for 2 kilometers of road, it said $10 million project. That's 2 kilometers. 2 kilometers. And then it's all toxic shit. It's part of the Atlantic provinces in Canada. Said I don't give a where I live. Not being rude. See, the thing is, people don't need to know, but the government already knows where I live. Like, they take my income and I have to eat out of the garbage again. Oh well, wouldn't be the first time because I couldn't afford food. I was making sure my child had something to eat. And there's a lot of people like myself. You see them, and they're going and they're digging in the garbage. Or you have elderly people because they can't afford fucking food. They're eating cat and dog food. And those could be even your family members. But most people just want to turn a blind eye to it and then look at somebody. Oh, you're overreacting. Yeah, well, maybe every time you fucking said shit to me, you were overreacting. So, like I said, it's the Maritimes because the Maritimes are all the same. I'm not being rude. Like where I live, okay, in the 40s, military dug up all the land, dug up all the land and put a bunch of buildings in, brought the community up. It's like not really sure where I think it was like the 70s and what have you. They uprooted. They tore down all the buildings, like they tore down all the stuff and took it, whatever they could salvage. They took it and left all the other fucking garbage behind. They're your problem. They like to play army. If the people would just start and like opening their eyes and coming together. You can, yes, but I'm also doing something that I'm not going to give my where I live at. It's like I said, 4-4 on the timeline. I see a lot of 4-4. I go by angel numbers. I see a lot of 4-4, 5-5-5, 2-2-2, 3-3-3, and 1-1-1 or 11-11. I see a lot of that. And I know that I'm going on the right path. I know that I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing, whether people like me or not, whether people just like want to throw shade on me for doing it. At least I'm standing up for people. And that's what Yeshua was trying to do. Stand up for people and teach people how to stand up for themselves. And I'm not Bible thumping because I don't even read the Bible. There might be some verses, but like I said before, it's like going into a fucking doctor's office. They tell the doctor this and that, and then until the end of the day, that they're putting shit in your file for the most part. And then, in between all that time, they're getting other people's medical stories and what have you. And I know from experience that they will get other people's medical shit in your records, and then it's always passed from place to place. The ambulance even gets your records. I know from experience because the ambulance read my records. And, oh, this person suffers from this and that. So you don't get an opinion fairly. And then in the Bible, like it even says in certain things that the Bible, like things were even written 40 years later. You're not writing down everything right then. It's like a journal. You know how like stories get twisted for other people's agendas. It's even when somebody's telling something about somebody else, they'll add something to it, or they'll leave something out because it doesn't fit their story. It doesn't sound so. Oh, no, not histrionics, just very expressive. I had somebody tell me, oh, well, I'm just being passionate. Well, you don't like other people being passionate, do you? It's like, how much, how many people in your family or in your surroundings have to die? How many people have to be humiliated? How many people have to be mocked? How many people have to end up in the hospital sick from one thing or another before you start freaking listening? Because I'll tell you right now, when that's happening, you really got nobody else to blame but yourself. Because we're being naive. No, if I'm scolding you, I'm scolding myself too. Because this is spirit that speaks out a lot, and spirit's telling me stuff too. And that's why I go back and watch my videos. Not for ego, but to find out what spirit is really trying to tell me too. Because I've been pretty fucking naive and ignorant to it. No, I'm actually a pretty calm person. Just when I get into something that I'm very passionate about. So that's the part. Well, you don't have to be in my channel. I'm not cranky. I'm standing up for people that can't stand up for themselves or don't know how. So if you want to call me cranky, well, that's your prerogative. But the thing is, I know the difference. I've just had enough of it. And a lot of other people did too. So go fucking look at somebody else in their channel and tell them they're cranky and angry. Have you been through the system? Have you been part of the system? Have you been abused by the system? Have you been mistreated by the system? Well, if you have, you know what? Maybe it's time you stand up, or maybe you know somebody else who has. So come throw shade on me. Would you tell, like, if you believe in Yeshua or Jesus, however you perceive, would you go to Yeshua and say that? Yeah? Do you know what a sinner is? Because I'll tell you right now, the true sinners and the sins are actually your systems integrated into society that you fucking worship. And I ain't being rude. I'm being truthful and honest. So, go back to your systems and not being rude. What do I think about the school systems? Through it. I find that they are teaching the wrong stuff because they're teaching a lot of anger, aggression. They're teaching misinformation, and a lot of it's coming to light. They're putting children against one another. They're uh, ridiculing people. They are dividing people. They are humiliating people. I know someone that when they were little, because they couldn't sit still in their chair, because they like to diagnose you with ADHD. They put this kid in a fucking garbage can and made them stand there and hold their hand to humiliate them. They favor certain kids. The stuff they're teaching in school is not the stuff they should be teaching. They should be teaching ways to survive, life skills. Oh, well, these people did this and these people did that. When you know what, you're only really telling one side of the story, and you're not actually telling the truth because you're going by the ones that fucking corrupted you for the most part. Well, that's your opinion because the true expertise comes from experience. So like I said, you like insulting me? Well, bring it. I've experienced it my whole fucking life. So you throw it at me. Well, when you throw at me, it's just going to come back at you, and it's not because I'm putting it back at you, because you get back what you put out. And I really don't care how many psychic attacks you throw at me. I really don't care what shit you throw at me, because I have to tell you, not being rude, but you really get some going things. Because if you believe in God, if you believe in Yeshua or what have you, you know, it's not about throwing shade on somebody else. And I'm not throwing shade on people, I'm throwing shade on your systems. Yep, cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. You like the attention, and that's why you're coming in here being controlled. But it don't bother me because I just feel sorry for you because you have nothing better to do with your time than come in and fucking show shame on other people. You sure you're not part of the system? Just to get the way in, and for something that's just because the truth hurts. And not being ignorant, I'm being upfront and truthful, being honest with you. I've been through the different systems, the justice system, the medical system. I've been through the government system, like to take your money. I've been through all the systems, and I'm not talking because I did crime for the justice system. I'm talking what I went through the justice system with regard to like when they take kids from you because of your spiritual beliefs. There's really something fucking wrong. So you wouldn't be the first one to come in here and tell me I'm cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. You know, I'll tell you the same thing I tell everyone else. Hey, I was already in this psychiatric unit 3 times within 1 year, and they released me and diagnosed me as unexplained because they don't know shit about the spiritual. Boy, didn't learn this language. So if you're telling me I'm cuckoo, then I guess you're telling spirit that spirit's cuckoo. You're telling God or Yeshua or whoever you believe. You're telling them they're cuckoo. Even the other side, you're telling them that they're cuckoo because they're the same as me because you're getting both sides. They say love and light. I've seen the love, I've seen the light, and I've seen the darkness. And you're sitting right in the systems of the darkness. They call it the belly of the beast. You know, the Matrix. Some people like me, some people hate me, some people love me, some people loathe me, and I really don't care. I gave up on caring a long time ago because I was suppressed, and all it did was make me feel sick. And that's why people are sick. That's why you have to run. That's why we're running to the doctors. That's why we're curling up in balls and so fucking stressed and full of anxiety. So if I'm cuckoo, I'm proud to be cuckoo. I'm proud to be crazy because it means I'm enlightened. So hey, you know, does it feel good to throw shade on other people? Maybe that's how, like, maybe, you know, maybe you're feeling that way about yourself and you have something that you want to say to other people, but you just don't say shit if you had a mouthful for fear of what they'd say to you. Or maybe you just go and you troll as many people as you want. But hey, you know, most people, when they get a troll, they'll block them. But you know, no sense blocking them because I don't know what they've been, what people's been through. But I do know what I've been through. I do know what I've experienced, and I do know what I've observed from other people. So there's your expertise. And you know, hey, I have legal background. I got my paralegal. I have my negotiation conflict. I actually have 6 courses from Dalhousie, but I had somebody come in and say, "Oh, well, it's only a piece of paper." Really? Okay. Hey, you run into a doctor and all they got is a fucking piece of paper. Hey, it's just got a piece of paper. It's all just a piece of paper. So if it's just a piece of paper, what the fuck does it matter? Disagree? I don't care if you feel like I'm angry. I get angry when I'm passionate about it. Like it's not anger, it's passion and it's frustration. But other than that, when I'm out and around loving, caring, understanding people that are resonating at the same with me of being happy and enlightened and seeing good things in life, the way to getting to the good things is actually exposing the bad things. Because that's the part that they want to be in the light, that they want to be in the limelight, they want to be glorified. But then when people start speaking up about it, oh, well, we're the problem. We're going to put this law on you. We're going to put that law on you. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, what was it they put? I forget the name of it. It's another word for the martial law. Or they had the, the, the truckers shut down and they froze all their bank accounts because they were speaking up. I have to say, you're one of the ones that were saying, oh, yeah, they should have their bank accounts frozen and they should have their children taken away from them. I don't know if they worked for Q because I don't care about that because Q to me is, you know, the people have rights to ask questions instead of taking it up the ass and getting it from behind. Because that's what your system's doing. They're only putting little pieces in front of you. Meanwhile, they're putting the dirty stuff behind so you can't see it. So The systems really piss me off. And, the ones that, like, figure the ones that are working for the agenda that doesn't want the truth getting out there, the ones that are setting shit on fire to make the peaceful protests look like they're bad. Because I know when they were having that first protest up in Ottawa, I know a couple people that went to it, and they said it was pretty friggin' peaceful. People standing around dancing and singing, people going up and asking them if they want a healing. Yes, I do. I'm a very strong believer. I don't believe it's not the book I believe in. It's not what they preach at the church that I believe in. Because I don't believe in preaching that this religion did that, or this person did this, or this person did that, just so you can hate the other people. You all did it to each other. It's like, you got people, you hear people saying, oh, the far left and the far right. Well, I'm in the balance because I can take an either or side. Because I'm looking at both sides. I'm seeing the good things that the government does, and I'm seeing the bad things that they do. And it's the stuff that's harming the people. Because you should never worship a system. You should never worship money. You should never worship material things. Take care of yourself. And when you take care of yourself, then you are able to help others learn how to take care of themselves, learn how to heal themselves. And that's what was being taught. But it was all being taught. Oh, worship this person, worship that person. God is spirit. The spirit is the energy. And the energy lives within you, the consciousness. But, you know, there's many people that understand that. But then there's people that are so deep into a system that have limited beliefs. And they're too afraid to see something different because it doesn't fit in with their life. But it's not normal. It's just perceived to be because it's all you know. And people are waking up, and they've been waking up for many years. This just didn't happen over a 3-4 year span. It's been going on since the system existed. And that's why our ancestors looked through other people and channeling, speaking up. The ancestors were coming down and speaking up through the people, saying, hey, say you're in modern times, but you're still living the same as what they did in, the times of Yeshua, except, things might appear to be a little clearer. But they're like, they're almost not clear because it's just hidden. You know, when you were a kid and you were told you had to sweep the floor, you were told to sweep the floor, and when you swept the floor, you lifted up the rug and you swept the dirt under the rug. Sight and mind, if they can't see it, then we can keep doing it. Meanwhile, there's a bunch of dirt going under the rug, and it's filling up, so much dirt for them to rub that now it is overflowing. And people are seeing it, and the ones that are exposing it, well, we're considered to be the problem children. But we're actually not problem children. We're only a problem to the systems. So, hey, if you think the system is fine, everything like that, then I have to ask, why the fuck are you bitching about it? Why are you ranting and raving? You got to fill out your taxes because you got to pay fucking X amount of dollars every year. But like I said, and then you're bitching because you're forking out all this money to an organization. And like I said, you can't put your windows in your house. You can't put the door. You can't pay for your heat. You can't pay for your lights. You don't have a pot to piss in, some people. But hey, maybe you're so rich with credit cards, and it's not throwing shade because a credit card is actually to create debt, and it's glorified. Create your debt so you can owe us more money. These same people that say about what they're experiencing. They're always the one complaining about not having money, not being rude. Either that or they're looking and they're saying, "Oh, well, how did that person get this? Or how did that person get that? What the fuck are you worried about? Well, how this person got something and how that person got something?" Seriously, it's keeping everyone divided. They say, and it's like the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. And it's because people aren't standing up and saying, hey, it's time to give back what's rightfully ours. There's so many places that are unceded land. The money's not theirs, but they're acting like it is. You work for the money. You make the money. And they're profiting. They're giving themselves raises. Meanwhile, you're being thrown like a couple pennies here and there we're going to up minimum wage. Minimum wage isn't even above the poverty line. But you think your system works. It's part about finding your heart. Use it today. It's like look at it this way. I may not have a lot of money to be given to people because I have to support myself. But I'd rather give some money out right directly to the person, knowing that they got it, opposed to feeding it into a system. And the same system, see them driving around these big fancy cars and these fancy houses and going on these fucking fancy vacations. And wait a minute, it's always on your money. Stop singing about being like Yeshua and preaching about being like Yeshua and just be like Yeshua. And it's not about being a goody goody. It's about seeing your own worth. So that you can heal and you don't have to rely on the system. We complain about going to work. A lot of people are in jobs that they don't even want to be in, and others say, "Oh, well, somebody's going to do it." But yet, those are the same people that are making like maybe 50, 80 grand a year, and they wouldn't work for fucking $15 an hour because, oh, well, go work at McDonald's, go give me my burger, and then if it's not made, or if it looks like slop, I'll take it back. I actually took a burger back, but I was polite about it because it was burnt. And I was telling them that, like, I know that it had nothing to do with them. It's got more to do with the grill. The grill might be set a certain temperature, but there's something off about the grill. So I wasn't ignorant about it. And others, they'll go up and, this baby's not bad. It's like, or you got people working in cleaning and they're disrespected. People throw a piece of throw garbage on the floor right in front of you. I know because I had it. People will shit in urinals and everything. I know because my father had to clean it. He'll fucking take and they'll smear shit on the walls. That's how dirty people can be because there's no respect for other people. Oh, well, somebody else will get it. My dad actually got me to go upstairs because a high ranking, I believe it was like the CEO or something of the Bridge Commission, and he would take and put his newspaper on the floor for my dad to pick up, which he had always been putting it up on the shelf. This one day, my dad asked me, like, I was always, like, when I went in to help him, I'd always clean downstairs. But this one day, he said, you go up and clean today, I'll clean down here, you clean up there. My dad knew. I had a mouse, and I stand up. And I got to the CEO's office. He hands me his garbage can. At the same time, he hands me his garbage can. He throws his newspaper on the floor right in front of me. I give him his garbage can back, and I look, is that paper for recycling? Yes. I said, good, can you pass it to me? Because we're not dogs and we don't go fetch. And the newspaper wasn't on the floor yet. That's how ignorant people are. I think because somebody is working in a lower job, that they're beneath you. Well, I'm here to tell you, if it wasn't for those people, you'd be fucking living in pig pens. You'd be working in pig pens. And if you look it up, it's mostly women. And there's a song that a young girl put out. And somebody's gonna heard that song. And it's true. It's not so much that it's a man, but it's masculine energy a lot of the time. Expects the women, the feminine energy to be its bitch. And I'm not being rude. I'm being honest about it. There it is. It's called labor. It's all the women, yeah. So, like I said, I don't care if you like me or if you like what I have to say. I get pissed off. I get frustrated. And then, after this happens, I go back to my normal because I can embrace the masculine and I can embrace the feminine because it comes to the balance. The secret. And then how to be it. It's being able to see it and expose things for what they are, put them in a light that they would like to be. I love the people, but I can't stand the systems because they were never for the people. Not even in the days of Yeshua. And that's music. This is why you have what we're having now. It happens every time when people are finally standing up and saying, hey, enough is enough. But it's about getting like enough people coming forward and saying, hey, no, we're going to hold hands and we're going to stand together. Because we all see this it's oneness. People telling me, hey, you need to find God. I found God. I walk with God. I'm a child of God, and there's other people that are a child of God because we stand up, we speak up, bring things forward. We speak the truth. If people don't like it, we speak the truth, even if our voice shakes. So if you came in, I appreciate it, whether you came in to insult me or call me cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. Anyway, I still love you. And you just help me grow even more. And I don't mean in popularity because I didn't come in to find followers. I didn't come in to get likes or shares. I didn't come in to get gifts or money or whatever it is that this platform is for. I come in to bring awareness, truth, and empower people to come within themselves and see what the true message is. To believe a thing is possible is to make it so. So, with that being said, I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings, most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone wanting, willing to receive and accept. I want you all to be big, bold, brave. Most importantly, be yourself. Be your authentic self. Be true to yourself. Be true to others. Be yourself and not who somebody else tells you you are and you have to be. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and know that you are more powerful and you have more strength than you can comprehend at times. I'm sending you all love. Have a great night. My finger's not working again. You know what happens when you start coming into your light body. I was gonna say, "Can I borrow somebody's finger for a minute?" Tienes tu tutoría tuwing. Skulle jag så gå in.